Have you ever wondered how one man could buy something so outrageous that it's not just expensive but illegal too? Here, we're diving into the crazy world of Pablo Escobar, the drug lord who took shopping to a whole new level. We are talking about a guy so ridiculously rich that he spent $2,500 a month just on rubber bands to organize his stacks of money. And get this, he lost 10% of his fortune every year, not to thieves or authorities, but to rats. This guy had so much money, he couldn't even keep track of it all, leaving it for rats to chew through. After researching Escobar's wild spending habits, I've uncovered some of the most outrageous and illegal buys you won't believe. So let's start with the least crazy purchase, but still illegal. The Monaco building, $6 million. Ever heard of a house so fancy it needed its own zip code? Well, Pablo Escobar's Monaco building came pretty close. This 8-story marvel wasn't just a home, it was Escobar's personal Disneyland of debauchery. Imagine a place where the doorbell played narco corridos and the swimming pool was filled with cocaine-infused water. Okay, maybe not, but you get the idea. This wasn't just a building, it was Escobar's way of saying, "Look at me, I'm rich and untouchable." Spoiler alert, he wasn't. In 1988, the Cali cartel decided to play a game of knock-knock with explosives. Their car bomb in the garage was like the world's worst housewarming gift, turning Escobar's impenetrable fortress into Swiss cheese. The Monaco building, where luxury met lunacy, and where Escobar learned that even the fanciest of hidey holes can't protect you from karma or well-placed explosives. How was it illegal? While owning a building is not illegal, the Monaco building was deeply entangled in Escobar's criminal activities. As Escobar lounged in luxury, but the families in Medellin lived in fear of the violence his empire brought to their streets. The Colombian government's decision to demolish the Monaco building after Pablo's death wasn't just an act of urban renewal, it was a symbolic erasure of the illicit empire that once cast a long shadow over Medellin. The Monaco building was actually the tip of the iceberg. The next thing in the list is something you wouldn't imagine. Let me give you a clue, it's a prison, but the criminal itself was owning it. La Cathedral, around $10 million. Let me explain to you. In 1991, Escobar made a deal with the authorities that only someone with his level of audacity could pull off. He'd surrender, but only if he got to build his own prison. And guess what? The Colombian officials actually agreed. The result? La Catedral, a prison so luxurious it had a nightclub, sauna, waterfall, and even a soccer field. Oh, and don't forget the telephones, computers, and fax machines. But of course, Escobar being Escobar, things took a dark turn when he tortured and killed 2 cartel members right inside his luxury lockup. The authorities decided it was time to move him to a real prison, but before that could happen, Escobar did what he did best. He escaped. So, we've covered the Monaco building, a luxurious prison. What could possibly be next in Pablo Escobar's twisted empire? What about an entire island, but not for sipping cocktails, for business, and by business, I mean illegal business? 3. Norman's Cay Island, $25 million. Welcome to Norman's Cay, a tropical paradise in the Bahamas that Escobar and his cartel turned into a key drug trafficking hub. Forget about sipping cocktails on the beach, this island was all business. And by business, I mean it was the gateway to the United States for massive amounts of cocaine. This place was decked out with a private airstrip, because what's the point of owning an island if you can't fly in and out whenever you want? And we're not talking about a tiny landing strip for small planes. This was built for heavy-duty aircraft loaded with, well, not-so-legal cargo. Security was tight, too. Think armed guards, constant surveillance, and enough firepower to make even the most daring intruders think twice. Norman's Cay was also the ultimate party spot, complete with luxurious amenities to keep the good times rolling. We're talking about non-stop partying that would make any celebrity bash look like a child's birthday party. But don't forget, this tropical paradise became a gateway for poison, flooding American streets with cocaine and destroying countless lives. 4. Money laundering through soccer, $70 million. Now, if you know anything about Colombia, you know that soccer is practically a religion there. And Escobar, he knew how to use that to his advantage. Enter Atlético Nacional, a Medellin-based soccer team that went from being just another club to one of the most successful teams in South America during the late 1980s. Escobar funneled a hefty chunk of his drug money into the team, and we're not talking about sponsoring a couple of jerseys here. We're talking about big bucks, enough to hire the best coaches, secure top-tier players, and offer salaries that other clubs could only dream of. But why soccer? Simple, it was the perfect cover. In a country where soccer was life, no one batted an eye at the sudden influx of cash into the sport. It was the ultimate money laundering scheme, wrapped up in a package that had fans cheering in the stands while millions of dollars quietly flowed through the system. Now, money laundering through soccer is Pablo's another big crime, but the next purchase is just too crazy to imagine. He literally bought dinosaurs, and I really mean those words. 5. Hacienda Nápoles, $63 million. Well, let me introduce you to Hacienda Nápoles, Escobar's very own playground. And when I say playground, I'm not just talking about a swing set and a slide. No, this was a 7,000-acre estate that makes the average billionaire's mansion look like a starter home. First off, you've got a soccer field because, well, why not? But that's just the beginning. Escobar didn't stop at the usual luxury items. He went full on Jurassic Park. He had actual dinosaur statues scattered across the property, life-sized replicas of creatures that have been extinct for millions of years. And if that wasn't enough, there were artificial lakes to add a touch of tranquility and, of course, a bullfighting arena, because what's a Colombian estate without a little traditional blood sport, right? But before going in, I would appreciate a lot if you could press that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. Let's get back to it. So, we've explored 5 crazy purchases made by Pablo Escobar. But the next item on the list is not purchase. It's a symbol of how much a dad can love his daughter. So let me explain to you. Act on winter 1993. Pablo Escobar, once the world's most powerful drug lord, now a desperate fugitive. He flees through the frigid Colombian mountains with his family, pursued relentlessly by authorities. His empire crumbles, but his role as a father remains. Act 2. As night falls, temperatures plummet. Pablo's young daughter, Manuela, shivers uncontrollably. No shelter, no firewood, only the cold hard cash of his criminal empire. In a moment of parental desperation, Pablo makes an unthinkable choice. He begins to burn the money, millions of dollars going up in flames to keep his child warm. Act 3. By dawn, an estimated $2 million has been reduced to ashes. The fire dies, but Manuela sleeps peacefully, wrapped in the warmth of her father's sacrifice. Pablo, watching his wealth literally go up in smoke, realizes that in this moment, he's not the king of cocaine, but simply a dad who would do anything for his little girl. Less than 2 weeks later, on December 2nd, 1993, Pablo Escobar would be gunned down in Medellin. But on that cold mountain night, he proved that even the most notorious criminal could be driven by a father's love. So we've covered some of the craziest stories of Pablo Escobar, but there's another video I've made in which I've shown how rich Elon Musk is compared to you. And I broke down in another full video that you can go and watch here.